Alex instills in them the history of the club. He wants every player that comes through here, he wants them to actually see the history of the club and to realise why they are at Manchester United and why it's special to be at Manchester United. He asked myself and Nobby Styles to go in and have a little chat with the players once when it was known that this year was the 50th anniversary, and we all said, you know, when we were having a little chat, you know, that wouldn't it be great if 50 years afterwards, after Munich, you know, that Man United could win the Champions League, because it was those players pioneering the actual competition that actually got things going, you know, and got the Champions League, as it was the European Cup then, going in it, and you see where it is now. You know, I don't know how many billions of people will watch the match next week. So there is a bit of emotion. There is a bit of emotion for Manchester United actually being there on the 50th anniversary of when these players died, going into Europe and pioneering what we see today. It's a marvellous achievement with unbelievable projects, really, really good projects, which was the idea of Laureus in the first place, you know, that it should have famous people, sports stars from all sports, coming in and helping through their own fame to work on projects throughout the world, which helps children, make sure that they get fed, make sure that they don't go into crime or go into drugs or anything like that. I was an initial founder member of Laureus, and I was ever so proud to be asked to go on to help Laureus in what they do. I was always aware that the politicians down the line, you know, had missed the boat somehow or other, and when you go into a country, even politicians sometimes have problems to communicate. But whenever any of our members, any of our founder members, went into a country, they were initially welcomed with open arms. The media wanted to know what they were doing there, and suddenly there was an awareness of problems in these countries that politicians couldn't do, but sports people could. One of the first things that was mentioned to me was about the midnight basketball in Atlanta. Between 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock at night in Atlanta, everybody could go and play basketball. There was an immediate success with that, in as much as it half the crime rate. That really, you know, I thought, wow, you know, that's some contribution, that is, you know, for the sports people to actually do what politicians couldn't do. One of the first places I ever went to and visit on the project was to Mathare in Kenya, where they had decided that they were getting no help from the authorities. So all these young people in the slums decided to do something themselves, and they formed a football league, for which they gave prizes for. They got they got 2 points to win, 1 point for a draw, and 1 point if they went to clean the slums up on a Saturday. And suddenly everybody wanted to play for this team because they were all proud and they all wanted to do this and help. And then eventually they started getting back into the football business in a true sense, and got into the African Cup of Champions. You know, it's just brilliant. They won the Kenyan League. Then they went as a representative of Kenya throughout Africa, and I remember that they got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. These young people, and we had helped in a little way. We gave them tractors, and we gave them a football pitch, a proper football pitch, because they were playing on little pieces of ground, little patches of ground, any they can find in the slums. But a proper football pitch, proper goalposts, proper offices, tractors and things, so that they could build better football pitches for themselves. On a regular basis, I seem to go to the Far East with my club business here at Manchester United, and I was fortunate enough to link some of it into a visit to Cambodia. Cambodia had a major mine problem with mines. We'd seen this in Bosnia, and he had set out this little scheme by using football as a means to stop kids from going into minefields, etc. And what to do if they did happen to be find themselves in a minefield. And we had a visit to one of the minefields where they showed us actually what they were doing and how they were doing it. And the one thing that I felt was, this is unbelievably slow. I mean, it's unbelievably slow. I mean, the rate that they put mines in, and how difficult and how expensive it was to actually, when you find a mine, to blow it up, even to defensively, you know. And it was an absolute nightmare for me. That somebody told me that to clear the minefields in Cambodia would take, at the rate that they were doing it at the moment, would take 100 years. We saw one mine be detonated, and I could not believe that anybody would survive it. It was such a big blast, and yet it was just a tiny little mine that anybody could stand on. The company that were actually helping to find the mines and to blow them up in Cambodia were from Manchester. It's a little company from Manchester, and when I thought, well, this is just so much of a coincidence. I had a meeting with them, and they decided, yes, they would put the mines to it. When I came back, I was told that Manchester University were helping this company. I was invited to go and speak to a few professors at the university, and they're going to do it. They're going to try and find a way of doing it quicker. This summer I'm going to Cumbria. They're having tests. They're having tests, and they're working on different ways of actually finding the mines quicker. I was so sickened by what happened in Bosnia, what happened in Cambodia, and what's happened in various parts of the world. That there are people that are actually that are making mines, that are selling mines. But I can't do much about that. Politically, it's just beyond me. But we can do something as sports people, as a contribution. This is what we want to do. We want to do some good, and we will have all our members that'll get behind different projects, and it looks as though we might be able to do something to at least alleviate the time it takes.